Not that he's little, he's much taller than me. But apparently his official title is the Director of Ridiculousness. He is a designer, a writer, a speaker, and an inventor of crazy ideas. He hopes that through his ridiculousness, you might be inspired to try something a little bit crazy yourself. And his name is Kyle Sheely.
Good evening. How's everybody doing? That's my name. My name's Kyle Sheely, and I run a company called Ridiculous. Our logo is a mustache. Our spokesman is Honest Abe. So you can tell we take this thing pretty seriously. Basically, Ridiculous is a playground where my friends and I get to play with our crazy ideas and kind of put them out there and see if they'll work. So a couple times a year, we launch a new Kickstarter project to just see if any of our ridiculous ideas will have any legs in the real world. We published a book called 99 Shades of Grey, which was literally just full of different shades of gray. We made an app called Beard My Baby, which puts beards onto pictures of babies. And then we did an awareness campaign called My Name Is Not Cody, because my friend Brody kept having people call him the wrong name, and we wanted to bring awareness to that issue. And so we put up a billboard and did some social media stuff. But by far, our most successful campaign to date came out of a conversation with my friend Grant. And Grant was always trying to get me to run marathons with him, and I wasn't interested. And he said, "Man, it's just so cool to be able to say that you run a marathon." And I said, "But I could say that I've run a marathon now. I just don't know that anybody would believe me." So then I started thinking, how could I get credit for running a marathon without actually putting in the work? So that's where this idea came from. Basically, the idea was if we could get enough people to all get together and say that they had run a marathon, if we had them take pictures of themselves pretending to run, and we stitched together all these pictures so there's all this photographic evidence that this race actually happened, and if we had like an official site for the marathon, surely you could, with all that evidence, you could convince a good portion of the general populace that it actually took place. So we decided to put this together, and we put it on Kickstarter, and we called it Run Free because it was free of running. And within 45 minutes of launching the campaign, we had raised over our $1,000 goal. By the end of the first day, we had sold out all of our early bird registrations. We ended up being written about in the New York Observer, Wired Magazine's Geek Dad blog, and the print edition of Runner's World magazine. For $10, you would get a personalized bib with your name and a number printed on it. You get a race time listed on our site, and for that we just took all the New York marathon race times and took all the names off and put our names on it. And you get a race sticker that said 26.2 with an asterisk. And for a little bit more, you could get a t-shirt or a medal or a race pack with like 6 registrations. By the end of the 26.2 day campaign, we had raised just over $23,000 from 592 backers. But because those 592 backers, a lot of them bought team packs, those represented actually over 1,000 runners from 24 different countries all over the world, which was ridiculous. Now, we didn't want to do anything generic because that's lame. Like, you can go online and get generic running medals and stickers and stuff like that, but we thought, no, it's all like dirt cheap, but it's all garbage. So we wanted this to feel like a premier event. So we spent lots of time and lots of money and developed everything custom. So every single thing that you see up there was made just for our race. The medal, the t-shirt, the programs and bracelets and stickers and all that kind of stuff. Now, we had sponsorships that we sold too, like a regular race would. So you could sponsor a mile of our fake marathon. We also had like gold and silver sponsorships. And then we had a platinum sponsorship, and we thought no one's going to buy this because it's like the presenting sponsor of the whole race. You'd have to be a pretty innovative, kind of crazy company to go along with something crazy like this. But then we got a company that reached out to us towards the end of the race. You might have actually heard of them. Groupon sponsored our race. So it became Groupon Presents Run Free 2013, the greatest race that never was. And those guys were so cool to work with, and no, they didn't ask me to say that. No, I'm not like financially obligated to mention Groupon every time that I talk about the race or anything. It was just so cool because they gave us total creative control and just came in and said, how can we help make this an awesome event for you? So between the time that the Kickstarter campaign ended and the time that the race actually took place, there were several months in there, and it was just spent frantically getting all this stuff manufactured and shipped to our state-of-the-art warehouse, aka our assistant's living room, and then shipped out all over the world. So people started sending out pictures. Surely enough, we got it done, and people are tweeting pictures of, oh, I got my race packet in. I'm so excited for my first marathon. Then finally it was race day, and at this point it was kind of out of our hands. We had done everything that we could, and we put it out there into the world, and we were just sort of observers at this point. It was up to the crowd to actually make this thing work. So it was kind of like a parent sending their kid off to college. We weren't sure if this was a good idea or not, but we were about to find out. This lady accidentally photoshopped herself in backwards, as you can see from the text, so a little bit on this. But slowly but surely, pictures started coming in, and we had people sending in pictures from all over the world. We had runners in Australia, Austria, Brazil, Canada, Canada, Chile, Finland, France, Germany, Hungary, India, Italy, Japan, South Korea, the Netherlands, New Zealand, Norway, Portugal, Qatar, the Republic of Georgia, Singapore, Sweden, Taiwan, the United Kingdom, and 44 states in the US of A. Due to a time-space continuum warp, our little 26.2-mile race was able to go over the Brooklyn Bridge, under the Eiffel Tower, through the Yale University Art Gallery, past the state capital of Utah, beneath Big Ben, past a poorly photoshopped Mount Rushmore, and across the surface of the moon. We also had some crazy weather that day. As you can see, it was like bright and sunny in some places. It snowed in a few places. There was like some sleet and hail. That's what happens when you turn an event like this over to a crowd. Is we honestly had no control over what was coming in, so we were just as surprised as anybody else as these hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pictures got posted throughout the day. Some of them were really serious and like legitimately looked like there was a marathon going on, and some of them were just crazy ridiculous. But it was so fun, and honestly, it was like hilarious. It was the best day of my life. Some people even set up aid stations like you would have at a real marathon. So we had bacon aid stations, sausage aid stations, a donut aid station, and then some people like went for authenticity. So like they tipped over the cups here and like scattered them on the ground and stuff like you would have at a real race as people are grabbing their stuff as they keep running. Now all of this water had to go somewhere, right? And this is a little shocking trend that we saw that popped up through the day. Lots of people decided to post pictures of themselves peeing on the side of the race course. And that was interesting to us because we didn't ask anybody to do that. We didn't mention that. That just sort of like organically developed as its own trend throughout the day. But it was really fun for us to see that come up. But my favorite picture of all the pictures is this next one that's about to come up. This is Samantha Golden, our race champion. Sam was one of our fans who had just been really active on social media from like day one. So we all like snuck around and found her phone number and called her during the race. And one of her friends snapped this picture as she got the news that she had won the world's first fake marathon. And it was cool because we got to bring a moment of real joy out of this ridiculous fakery. Now after all of the like bacon aid stations and stuff like that, I thought our initial hypothesis was bunk. There's no way anybody's going to believe that this is actually real. But then I got this text from Grant. This is the guy that inspired the whole thing in the first place. I blacked out the names to protect the innocent. His wife had signed up for the race, spent all day on the couch in her PJs, and then that night at church somebody was like, "Hey, I heard you ran a race. That's so cool." Which is awesome. There were people that actually thought this was real. Now, if we had never done this, I wouldn't have met all these cool people. I wouldn't have gotten to come up here and speak in front of you guys. But we stepped out there and we did something crazy, and 1,000 of my friends and I got to create something that wouldn't have existed without us, and that didn't technically exist even with us. So get out there, do something crazy, and be a little ridiculous. Thank you guys so much for your time.